You got Candace Parker and you got Caitlin Clark sitting there. Who are you taking?
Not even a question. It's Candace Parker.
Okay, thank
Not
you.
even a
Honestly,
question.
I was driving into work this morning thinking, am I the only one that is missing this? I mean, she is Caitlin Clark. I watched her. I got sucked in. She's not top 20 of
No.
women's basketball players I've ever seen.
Here's
Now,
the thing with
I will tell people this that got sucked in that Iowa up and down stuff. That's what the new Lady Vols coach is going to want to run. Just to give you an idea. Go ahead.
Yeah, exactly. Well, you're right. It's funny you say that about Caitlin Clark because the discourse surrounding her is everything that sucks about sports discourse. By the way, this is why our show is good. And no, I'm dead serious on this. I'm dead serious on this. This is why our show is good. This is why YouTube shows are better than cable news shows. Because here's I'm going to break this down for you,
Well,
Dave.
ours.
Yes, ours specifically.
Yes.
I've said all year, people who are not noticing Caitlin Clark, she can shoot, but if you provide help defense and stay on her, she has a turnover problem. She was averaging 5 turnovers a game, and she's very mediocre defensively. Those things were true all year. Now, Iowa loses to South Carolina yesterday. Neither one of those things are why they lost, by the way. They lost because they just don't have any inside game. They can't rebound. But all of a sudden, the narrative turns against Caitlin Clark, not because of the things I brought up, but because her team lost a game.
I know
Which,
she didn't do it.
like,
I mean, what was she supposed to do? Start posting
yes,
people up?
like
Let me.
exactly.
I mean, I love the fact that the women's game's getting some love, but it ain't Caitlin Clark. She's not the. She is the reason, but she shouldn't be the reason. Here's the list of the WNBA's greatest players of all time, and just real quickly, I'm going to run through this. You tell me which one Clark's better than. Taurasi Caitlin.
Taurasi Caitlin.
Yes.
Oh, Diana Taurasi. Oh, Diana Taurasi. Diana
Yeah.
Taurasi.
Catchings Caitlin.
Tamika Catchings. The only now she did only win one national title in college, but she had so many injury issues when she was at Tennessee. When she was there.
Okay.
But yeah.
In all fairness, I'm going by a WNBA list because I thought that'd be a little bit easier. Cynthia Cooper.
I'm gonna go with Caitlin Clark's. Cynthia Cooper. Yeah, absolutely.
Ooh, 4 championships, 2-time MVP. Okay. Maya Moore.
Oh gosh, the greatest guard in the history of the WNBA.
Lisa Leslie.
Lisa Leslie.
Cheryl Swoops.
Cheryl Swoops.
Lauren Jackson. I don't know who this is.
I don't know who Lauren Jackson is.
I don't either. Sue Bird.
Sue Bird, obviously, is better than.
I can keep going. Candace Parker.
The
Sylvia
greatest post player
Fowles.
in the history of women's basketball.
Ella Deladon.
Wait, I can name my. Wait, here's the real question as you're going down the list. And Dave, we asked Ron Slay this question. Breanna Stewart would run circles around Caitlin Clark. Now, again, here's my point. I debated this with Ron. Ron, I may disagree with Ron on this because I asked Ron if Caitlin Clark could start on the all-time Lady Vols team. Now, he certainly could. She certainly couldn't start on the all-time UConn team because UConn is loaded with guards. I think she would work her way into the all-time Lady Vols roster because I'm looking at it, and you know this, Dave. The Lady Vol legends are all post players. You know, Bridget Gordon.
She could work her way into the lineup, but
as a guard, because like
she just be a spot up shooter.
Yeah, I mean, but the only reason she would work her way in is because honestly, Tennessee, and I'm going to get so much flack for this between people who love Kara Lawson, but Tennessee has never been great on the guard play. The Lady Vols, they've always been about
Kara Lawson a better player than Caitlin Clark.
No, Kara Lawson's not better. And also the only one, because if you did an all-time Lady Vols team, the starting point guard would probably be Holly Warlick, but Caitlin Clark's better than Holly Warlick.
But then you'd have to fire her at halftime, and you replace her with Kelly Harper, and you have to fire her after the third quarter.
Oh my gosh.
Seconds. Get down and see our friends at Dynasty Pools and Spas. They want to take care of you. And I'm telling you, you got to get in there. Check out the spa. They deliver it to you with all the parts you need. They also have the best chemicals, no fillers. It is awesome for your pool and spa. Dynasty Pools and Spas. Get down there, support our sponsors. That's why we're here. Here. You know, the best thing about Dynasty Pools and Spas is that they've got it all taken care of. What does that mean? Well, you stop by their showroom and check out their fantastic selection of top-notch spas in that showroom in Athens. Make your pick and get ready, because Dynasty Pools and Spas delivers within 125 miles of that location in Athens, that fantastic showroom. They've got the cover lift, steps, chemicals, and everything you need. Delivery at no extra charge. They're just down the road in Athens. You pick the spa you want, and it'll be there for you. Oftentimes discounted with military and first responders discounts. Also blemish bottles, or just mention Off the Hook Sports. That's Off the Hook Sports for $500 off. There's a discount for you on spas made right here in East Tennessee. Support local. Dynasty Pools and Spas also has the best chemicals for you and your spa and your pool. No fillers, just the chemicals made right here in East Tennessee. Support local. Dynasty Pools and Spas, $500 off if you mention Off the Hook Sports. $500 off if you mention Off the Hook Sports. Dynasty Pools and Spas, dynastypoolsandspas.com. Oh, I love this comparison. Mead Drinker says Clark is a female version of Reggie Miller. She is. The way she runs and comes off screens and can shoot. Obviously, Reggie Miller is one of the 3 greatest shooters of my lifetime. Yeah, that's it. And that's
exactly it.
And those do not compare with Candace Parker. Sorry.
No. And as a matter of fact, what was Reggie Miller's biggest problem? If you had a good enough defense to come up to be able to get around the screen and provide help or provide help in time, he might hit the shot, but he also might turn the ball over. And that was a big problem with Reggie Miller his whole career. And so, I mean, I think that again, we're downing her, and I want to be fair. Caitlin Clark, she deserved Women's Player of the Year this year. She was the best player in women's basketball this year, and I do believe that. But I mean, when people were crowning greatest of all time, and I'm thinking, what? I mean, I'd watch. There were legit issues in her game. This isn't biased to old school styles of basketball. She turns the ball over too much when she's coming off screens. If you stay on her. And she's not great defensively. Yeah, she's no Candace Parker. And I mean, honestly, the other one, South Carolina, Aja Wilson, who played for South Carolina a few years ago, she's not better than Aja Wilson. I mean, the women's game, the post players are just incredible. And yeah, Candace Parker is, again, I don't know. You know, people kept talking about, oh, Caitlin Clark couldn't lift her team to a championship by herself. And I'm like, look, Candace Parker did kind of lift that 08 Lady Vols team to a title by herself. Yeah, nobody else on that team was great.
I gotta be honest with you, I'm kind of Caitlin Clark'd out. Rick Terry Jewelry Design, they want to be your jeweler looking for affordable game day jewelry. How about the Fire Opals, a Tennessee tradition? RickTerryJewelry.com, RickTerryJewelry.com. And here's why I'm Caitlin Clark'd out. I feel like people from Connecticut, people from East Tennessee, and certain other pockets that really appreciate women's basketball shouldn't have to be told repeatedly, well, this women's basketball thing, it's making a movement. It has the best storylines of any Final Four out there, even better than the men's. I mean, come on. It was a pretty big deal anyway. The South Carolina going undefeated would have been a big, big story had it not been for Caitlin Clark. Caitlin Clark has kind of become the mascot of women's basketball, not the superstar who's going to raise it to good heights. I'm good with Caitlin Clark moving on to the WNBA, which I typically see about 2.5 minutes of a year.
Well, I think the way a lot of Tennessee and UConn fans feel right now and the way some older players, and you saw a lot of UConn resentment to her over the weekend, which by the way is an issue on its own because UConn players don't even realize that like they may not like the promotion of Caitlin Clark, and they ignore the fact that the whole reason UConn became a program was the extra promotion people who went to UConn got because they're right next to ESPN. I mean, how do you get like how many former UConn players get hired at ESPN, Dave? It's like they're all over the place. And so it was hypocritical for them to say that. But I think we're a lot of the fans from former UConn players and former Tennessee players and players back in the 80s. It reminds me of Wilt Chamberlain and the way he felt about Kareem Abdul-Jabbar and Michael Jordan. And Wilt never, ever respected them. And he resented the level of popularity they got. I don't know if you know, Wilt Chamberlain hated Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. And he just thought that it was kind of a jealousy of he was doing this level of work when the NBA wasn't popular and helping to promote it. But so I try to be fair here. Like, I understand the resentment of the former players that people like Caitlin Clark are benefiting from it when she's not even among the best.
A lot
she
of
is among the
former
best.
players just resent it because you're making more money, whether it be professional money or NIL money, right? Done a lot of
That's exactly why a lot of former players resent it.
Yeah, I had a second job in my day, and I'm old enough where guys literally did have to work a second job.
Yeah, I mean that's why remember I will never forget. And this is when I stopped liking Drew Brees. Funny enough, was when Drew Brees came out and said that the players.
I never liked him.
You never liked him?
I'm kidding. Why would you not like Drew? Why do you not like Drew Brees? He seems like a weird guy to dislike.
Because during the concussion lawsuit against the NFL, he came out and said that these older players knew what they signed up for and they just want to check. And I'm like, Drew, he said that as he was holding out for $100 million contract. And I'm like, really, Drew? Like, you're holding out for $100 million contract that's made possible because of the work that these former players in the 70s did. And they were lied to about the safety of what they were doing at the time. And they had to do a lot of them did have to work a second job when they were playing football. So I just thought it was really low class of Drew Brees to go with former players that doing the NFL.